Hi everybody, welcome to the fairground. Today we're going to have a go at the CorkGun challenge in Python in this CMU sandbox environment. Here we've got a cork gun which is rotating with the angle of the mouse. When I click the mouse, one of the corks will be loaded into the gun and it will shoot at the direction or the angle of the mouse or the angle of the gun. Same thing, okay? And it will keep traveling until it's off the canvas or it hits a rubber duck, whichever happens first. And we're going to try and process 3 corks. And if we shoot the 3 corks and we hit the 3 ducks, then we win the game. So let's get started. I've already designed some global variables. I've created a variable to track which cork I'm currently processing, and we start at cork 0. I've created an empty list here which will store the 3 corks, and I've also created an empty list of ducks. This rectangle is just this rectangle enclosing the 3 corks, and the gun, of course, is down here. Now I've designed a function called generateCorkList, which will put the 3 corks into position. And here's the code for my generateCorkList. Basically, generate a rectangle, append it into the corks list, which is up here, and there will be 3 of them. And every time I generate a cork, I'm just going to tell it that it hasn't been shot yet. So I'm creating a shoot property and assigning it a value of false. Okay, so that sets up 3 corks that haven't been shot yet. Okay, let's look at the generateDuckList function. Very basic function. We're just going to do something 3 times. We're going to generate 3 circles and append them to the ducks list, which is a global variable. Okay. Now, of course, my program, I'm calling those 2 functions, and when I run my program, we generate the 3 corks yet to be shot, and we generate the 3 ducks. Okay, let's have a look at this onMouseMove function. On mousemove, we manipulate the gun's rotate angle. Let's look at how to do that. We're using a very useful function, the angleTo function. All we need to do for the angleTo is give it the location of a point. So we'll give it the location of the gun's center X, which is here, and we'll give it the location of the mouse, which are these 2 parameters in the onMouseMove function. So those are the 2 points, and then it will calculate the angle, and we're using that to update the gun's rotate angle. Very nice function, angleTo. Now let's look at the mousePress function. When we press the mouse, we want to process the current cork that is in the game. Okay, so we're going to be using this corkNum global variable, and it is assigned 0 at the start of the game. So we're processing corks. Remember, corks is the list. This is the list of corks here. This is corks 0. This is corks 1, and this is corks 2. Okay. So what we're going to do is say, okay, corks 0.centerX will be moved to the gun center X. And corks 0 center Y will be moved to the gun center Y. So if we run the program, we're moving corks 0 to the gun's center point. Brilliant. Now what we need to do is calculate the angle to the cork's target. Remember, the cork's target is somewhere off canvas. We want to shoot it off the canvas. Okay, so let's calculate the angle to the cork's target. We can just use the gun's rotate angle. Okay, now that we've got the angle, we can calculate a target point off canvas. And to do that, we're going to use a very nice function which returns 2 values, an x and a y coordinate. The name of the function is getPointInDir. in direction. Now what we need is the starting point, which is gun.centerx. You could say corknum.centerx. It's the same thing. They're both at the same position here. Gun.centery. We need to tell it the angle. We've just calculated the angle. And we need to give it a distance. So if this is the angle here, we want the distance to be off canvas. So something like 460, I don't know, something like that. Just to test this, let's make the angle, the distance a bit small. And let's use these two variables to update the current corks, center X and center Y, just to see if this works. So the current cork is cork number 0, so this is the first cork. We'll update its location to be this location here that we've just calculated. Let's just see if this works. Yes, it works. But we don't want to do that. I was just testing it. By the way, what happens if I click again? Oh, okay. So we don't want to keep updating corknum because then we go outside of the list. So I'm just going to say if corknum is less than, is it 2? Then we will update the corknum. Let's just see if that works. Bang, bang, bang. Keep clicking. Yeah, okay. That seems to be working. That's a bit weird, but we'll deal with that later. Now, what we want to do is, we're not going to move the cork to its target when we click the mouse. We want to do that in the onStep function. We want to see the cork moving towards its target. So rather than doing that, we just want to tell the cork where it's going. So let's do this. The current cork that we're processing, I'm going to make up a new property. I'm going to call it targetX, will be assigned the calculated TX. And corks corknum dot target Y, just giving it a new property, will be assigned the calculated TY. We'll use this later. This is very useful. Okay, so that is my current on mouse press function defined. Let's move into the onStep function. It could be that all 3 corks have been activated. Oh, I tell you what we need to do in the on mouse press function. We need to update the shoot property to be true, right? Do you remember when we generated our corks, we said you haven't been shot yet? But actually, when we press the mouse, we need to say you have now been shot. So you're active. Okay? So don't forget to do that in your on mouse press function. On step, we're going to process each cork because each of them could have been fired or shot. So it's 3 basically. I'm just going to do len corks. If the current cork that we are processing shoot property is the same as true, it means we can make it move. Okay, so we just need to go and get its travel angle again. Okay, so let's get its angle again. Angle is equal to, we're going to use the angleTo function, the current angle of the cork the current location of the cork to to its target. And you remember, we told it its target, so it knows where it's going. I called it target X and target Y. So this is where it currently is. This is where it's going, and that's the angle that we're calculating. Now, let's calculate a point which is just a little step ahead of its current location, because we want to see it moving. Okay, so I'm going to say new x, comma, new y equals get point in direction. Where is it at the moment? So that's where it is at the moment. What's the angle? Well, this is the angle. And we just want to give it a little step ahead. Let's say 5. And then let's update the current Cork's center x to be new x and new y. Okay, so let's just think about this. We're processing each Cork. We're saying, okay, if you have been shot, we're going to find out which direction you're traveling in, and we're going to give you a new direction towards the target in the same angle, and then we'll update your location. So let's see if that works. Boom, boom, so it works. That's brilliant. The only issue is its target, which I told it in the on the on mouse press function. Do you remember we did it there? Only goes to 50, a distance of 50. We want it to go into maybe a distance of 400 and something. Let's run that again. Okay. So this video has introduced how to use the angleTo and getPointInDir function. Can you continue the program to see if a duck was hit and what to do next? Okay, so what I might do in my program is call a function called checkHit. And this function, let's define checkHit. Will process each bullet or cork and see if each cork hit any of the ducks. Etc., etc., etc. See if you can figure out how to produce a score or a winning scenario in this fairground game.